Okay, I've weatherproofed all the connections on the RA board and also on the main board. So now it's time just to put the cover back on. Snap it down into place. Take your hand controller cable, pull up on that connector, make sure it's seated correctly. We're just going to now insert the 2mm Allen screws that secure the cover. Again, it don't have to be tight, it's just holding the cover on. I should use a power drill. Just kidding. Okay, the cover's on. Last thing that goes on is the little ball bearing, followed by the tension screw, complete with spring inside. Run it all the way down. Back out 2 turns. Actually, I'm going to back out more than 2 turns because now I'm going to move the mount upright, change to another view, and we'll show you how to test this configuration and actually burn in the encoder motor. Okay, be right back. Alright, now we're going to reattach all of our connections that we previously disconnected, including the reticle cord and the declination cord on this side of the mount. My hand controller is in. I don't know if you notice on the deck cord, if you get a little cable clamp and a screw with a nylon insert, you can wrap that declination cord about 3 times around the mount. Leave it long on this side and tight going into the illuminated reticle. That keeps it from hanging down in your way, and it will provide plenty of clearance throughout the night. I don't know if you can see this knob also. That's not standard. That's a adaptation I made for the Z mount, consisting of an alloy knob that you can actually tighten with an Allen wrench, which is much better than that old chrome T-lever. Okay, but at any rate, let's run it all the way down. Back out 2 turns. 1, 2. 1, 2. And that's about 1 turn, because you can't turn it 360 degrees. So that's about 1 turn out, 360 degrees out. I'm going to hook up some power from a 12-volt DC power source. I'm going to turn the mount on. I get a nice reassuring beep. And what we're going to do, now that we've adjusted the RA mesh and the hinge play and the worm bearing play, if you've done that also, is just let this mount know that we've done these modifications, because it remembers what it did the last time. The way to do that easily is just select the number 2 slew speed button, and in the RA mode, run it at speed 2, and it's moving. I just barely notice it. Run it like that for about 60 to 120 seconds, so 1 minute to 2 minutes. Once you've done that for that amount of time, you shouldn't inquire any RA overcurrent messages or any other error messages at all. But once you've done that for 2 minutes, stop. Select speed 8 or 9, and I'll select speed 8, and do the same thing for 1 to 2 minutes. This is an RA only because naturally we've worked on the RA axis. And if you run out of room, you just reverse direction. What we want to do is just let that planetary motor know that we've made those changes and what kind of load it's experiencing. This will preclude the possibility of it setting an overcurrent message. Okay, I'm going to come back the other way. I'm going to bump it up to max speed, 9. Again, no overclock messages, or no overcurrent messages, no error messages of any kind. That's what you want. That's what we're looking for. This is the test. If you do happen to, and of course, I can hit return to 0 position, and it goes right back to my marks. If you do run into any messages at all during this test, go back in and check your adjustments. 9 times out of 10, the hinge adjustment will be too tight. If it's not the hinge adjustment, then it's the worm adjustment that's maybe a little bit too tight. But again, 9 times out of 10, it will be the hinge adjustment. If it senses a lot of load where it can't move that worm gear up and out, in and out of mesh, it will trip that overcurrent. And I can tighten this all the way down. And select speed 8. And slew without any overcurrent messages at all. And I'll just go back to 0. So, that's how to tune your Z mount. I hope you found these instructions useful. I don't recommend doing this. This video is strictly for those people who want to do it. And again, it's not a recommendation. I don't want people emailing me and telling me I broke their mount, because what works for me may not necessarily work for you, and the skills that I have may not necessarily be the skills that you have. But this is a very easy setup. It's a very easy tune. And it makes all the difference in the world when you put your OTA on there. So, have fun, clear skies, and glad I could help.